As you can see from this huge stack of different types and varieties of cucumbers, you can tell that I love growing cucumbers in my garden. I like to grow my cucumbers for fresh eating, right? What's better than some cucumbers just sliced up with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of vinegar and just fresh eating cucumber salads with cucumbers and tomatoes and onions mixed together and just a little bit of oil, right? It's the perfect summer snack. I have a hard time deciding which ones I want to grow. And y'all don't know how long I've been sitting here going through all of my cucumber seeds to decide which one's going to make it to the garden this year. But I finally settled on, 500 because that's how many I got in my hands here. And I want to share with you what I'm growing and where I plan to grow those cucumbers. I am going to bounce around and kind of show you the space and then what I'm going to grow in that space. So come on, let's go ahead and talk about where these cucumbers are going this year. The first two spaces I want to talk about are these two right here. I'm going to grow them on, this is an 11-inch metal raised bed. This is a 17-inch metal raised bed. In this bed, I already have brassicas growing in the front, but behind it on this trellising system right here, we're going to grow different types of cucumbers. It is best, well, I prefer, I should say, to grow my cucumbers on trellising versus letting them sprawl across the ground. When they sprawl across the ground, they're touching the dirt, the soil, they get disease, right? Insects get in and start eating and nibbling on them. So I prefer to grow up trellising. In this bed right here, there's nothing in it yet. We're going to put cucumbers in the back growing up this trellising system right here. And then we'll put something else in the front. Standing here looking around because I just remembered that I'm supposed to save some of this trellis system here for melons as well. So we're going to still put cucumbers here, but it's going to have to share this space with melons growing up this trellising system. But let's talk about the ones that we're going to put in these spaces. I consider these to be the two best spots in my garden. The morning sun is over there. It's going to hit the backside of both of these trellising systems. And then the sun is going to continue to go behind me here. And it's going to hit the other side of these trellising systems. And then when I get to the hot evening sun, this one will still get it. That's why we're going to put melons on here as well. But this one will have just a little bit of protection from the hot evening sun. Cucumbers are warm season crops. You definitely need to plant them after the chance of frost. And you really want your soil to warm up a little bit. I'm usually already in the ground with my cucumbers by now. When it comes to cucumbers, you need to expect them to get hit with the cucumber beetles, powdery mildew, among other diseases. But typically your cucumbers grow fast enough that you can do a lot of succession planting. So if you're struggling with a plant, tear it out and put another one in, and you should still be able to get a harvest throughout the season. So that's the plan right now. We're going to put the first round of cucumbers in everywhere. And if we start having issues, we'll tear it out and put something else in. So for the cucumbers that we're going to put in these two spaces behind me here, they include national pickling cucumber. I prefer to grow a lot of pickling cucumbers because it's the best of both worlds. They're great for fresh eating and they hold up in the canning process when you're making pickles. I will also be putting this Japanese one in that I can't pronounce, Jabai, something like that. Y'all, this one can get long. It's a standard slicing cucumber, y'all. I've grown them as long as from my fingertips to my elbows in the past, so we'll be putting that one in as well. Here's a picture of Wisconsin SMR, which is, I think, my favorite cucumber. It's got to be one of my favorites. It is a pickling cucumber. It is a hybrid, and it's usually the first cucumber plant to give me cucumbers or fruit every year. So we'll be putting that one in. We're going to also put in Honey Plus. Here's a picture of it. It's new to me this year. I'm growing it in my garden as well as over at the neighbors. We're gonna do this Parisian pickling cucumber as well. It's 60 days to harvest. This one's a new to me as well this year, and it's the old French pickler. And my plan is to pick these really small and pickle them as tiny little baby cucumbers. And that's it for these two spaces that you see behind me. Now let me move to the next area and show you what I'm going to plant in that space and why I chose the varieties that I did. Y'all, this is the next space where we're going to plant some cucumbers. I got the, what do you call them, obelisk or something like that, trellising systems in 2 of my 7-gallon plastic containers. I got all of this, y'all, off of YouTube, or off of Amazon, I should say. I got all of these off of Amazon. The links will be in my Amazon store, so you can go there and you'll be able to see these pots, everything that I have on Amazon. But in here, these are beautiful trellising systems. And y'all, when I got them, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to put in them. You know, I thought about putting, squash in here and growing them up. And then I thought about tomatoes and I thought about a lot of different things. And then I decided on cucumbers. So in these 2 containers right here, there are 4 different supports going straight up. And I've grown cucumbers in systems like this last year, and they did very well. So at the same time, the varieties I'm choosing to put here are not going to be the favorites, the ones that I need to get that harvest, to put away the pickles and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm putting some fun things in here this year that we're going to kind of experiment with. And again, I can put 4 different ones in here because I can have 1 cucumber trellis up each one of these poles. So let's talk about the varieties. The first variety I want to talk about is this one here, Puna. I grew it last year. And y'all, this one got kind of big. And I always had a hard time identifying it in the garden. And so I was getting it mixed up with some of my white cucumbers, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. So this year, I'm putting it in a space where I'll know immediately when I see it, and I'll be able to tell you exactly about it. It's a cream light green fruit. It's supposed to be, oh, and it'll turn brown as they ripen. It's supposed to be disease resistant and very hardy. I can't tell you because it was mixed in with everything else and it looked similar to a few other ones. So this year, I'll be able to tell you exactly whether or not I like this one or not. Another one that I'm going to put in here is this one right here. This is new to me this year. Now, this cucumber is quite unique. Y'all, it's got a storage life of up to 3 months. Can y'all believe that? Up to 3 months on a cucumber? It's out of Bhutan. It's out of Bhutan, and it thrives in northern cool climates. So it's not cool here, y'all. It's not cool. It won't be cool during this growing season, but I'm putting it in the garden anyway. It says that it can also withstand intense heat and humidity as well. So we should be okay. We're somewhere in the middle of those two. It says you can eat them raw, you can pickle them, or you can use it in a chutney. So new to us, very different. The skin is different. I'm excited to try that one this year. Now over here, we're also going to add the Honey Plus. And here's a picture of that Honey Plus, harvested in about 40 days. And the Parisian pickling, which I showed you just a minute ago. We're going to be adding that over here as well. So that's going to give me 4 different cucumbers, the same 4, in both of these beautiful containers behind me. And I think that's going to look really pretty coming up with a green cucumber and a brown cucumber and an almost white cucumber, the traditional green, right? All different shapes and sizes. I think that's going to turn out really pretty. Now, let's go to the next area and let me tell you what I'm putting in those spaces. In these next spaces, I am also talking about these trellising systems here that are growing in 7-gallon plastic containers as well. So there's one up there, there's this one, and here's the third one back here. Now, the difference between these obelisk trellising systems, whatever you call them. The difference between these and the other two is that these are a mixture between metal and plastic, where the other ones were 100% metal. I think that's a better quality one over there. Those are better quality. They're taller, they're more stable, they look nicer. That's why I put them at the front of the garden. And these back here don't look so pretty, but they did the job last year for me, and I'm hoping they'll do the job for me again this year. Now, I went ahead and planted these about a week ago. So I'm going to show them to you, but let me tell you what I put in here. All three of these are super special to me for a very different reason. In all three of the trellising systems that I have like this, they're going to be all white cucumbers, all white. And I'm super excited about doing that. Now, y'all, my mom's favorite cucumber now is a white cucumber. She likes the delicate skin. She likes the sweetness of the cucumbers. And I was able to find 3 different varieties of white cucumbers for her this year. So let me share those varieties with you. Silver Slicer, and here's a picture of Silver Slicer right here, is the one that she prefers the most. Well, actually, it's the one, I've grown a couple different ones in the past seasons, but this is the one that she prefers the best, I should say. And so Silver Slicer is in one of these. I don't know which one without looking, but it's in one of these already. I'm also growing the White Angel. And the White Angel, let's see what it says about it. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about the Silver Slicer. It doesn't say. And y'all, I got these seeds off of Amazon. There's nothing special about these seeds. The Silver Slicer gets about 5 to 6 inches long. I prefer to pick them around 4 to 5 inches long. Beautiful, beautiful cucumbers. The White Angel says it's a medium early hybrid. The fruit can get anywhere from 7 to 8 inches long, and it has a good taste. Now, y'all, I like an excellent taste, not just a good taste, but we will see what it gives us. It has an unusual color and excellent resistance to disease. And it says used for fresh eating and salting. So that's perfect for us. So I figured this White Angel, and here's the picture, like I said, of it. It looks very similar to the Silver Slicer, but it might just be a little shorter in size. 50 to 55 days to harvest. And then the third one that I have here is the White Wonder. And do I have any information on it? I do not. I have no information on it. So White Wonder, Silver Slicer, and the White Angel, those are the 3 white cucumbers that we're going to be growing this year. I got 4 places where I can grow cucumbers on these, but these are smaller. And so I'm still putting in at least 4 cucumbers in here. And, you know, if it gets too bushy, it gets too bushy, we'll live with it. But each container only has 1 variety in it versus sharing the space like I did in the other trellising systems. So let me show you how they're growing. So this is the White Angel right here, growing in this space. And it looks like I only have 3 that even germinated out of the 4 or 5 that I put in there. Moving down to the next one here, this is the Silver Slicer. I got 4 that germinated. There should have been 1 right here. It's not there anymore. Oh, it looks like something ate it. Anyway, the Silver Slicer has 4 that looks good in there. And moving over to this last one here, this is the White Wonder, and it looks like all 5 of those germinated. Now, considering all of these seeds were purchased from very small places on Amazon that I didn't know anything about them, I was really surprised that the germination rate was as good as it was. So I'm very happy with the outcome of where we are with these 3 containers. So I will keep you updated on how they're doing. But y'all, I'm not done. I know I'm in the shade a little bit here. It's still early in the day and the sun hasn't quite made it over here yet. But there's a couple more cucumbers that we're going to start today. And those cucumbers are going to go into my GreenStalk. And this is a GreenStalk that is fully laid out with all kinds of stuff in it, right? I got celery, I got peppers, I have lavender. What else is in here? Tomatoes at the top. Ooh, there's one in there that's ripe too. Ooh, ooh, that's ripe, y'all. Quality test. Oh, that was good. Oh, y'all, I love summer. Walk out in the garden and eat. Anyway, now there are a few pockets left in this GreenStalk to fully fill it out. And I'm going to add more cucumbers over here. I'm not going to put them in the bottom because I need them to have a little room to grow. So I'm going to add them to this tier right here. And there are two varieties we're going to add right there. When I add cucumbers to my green stalks, I prefer to add cucumbers that don't vine too long. Nothing more than like 3 feet is what I prefer. And I have two perfect cucumbers for this space right here. When I get back to them, wherever they are, there they are. The two cucumbers I'm going to put in this space here. One, I grew it for the first time last year, and it's called Dar. So we're going to grow Dar. Dar is, it says it's a bush plant. It's a Polish variety, and they got the cutest little cucumbers. They were about this big. It looks like a pickling cucumber, but they're kind of tiny. It says 3 to 4 inches, I believe is what I read somewhere else on these cucumbers. But beautiful little cucumbers. I pickled some. They're super sweet, and they don't vine too long because this is a bush variety. And so we're going to put that in a couple pockets back here. And then the second one that we're going to put in the green stalks back here is called Pick a Bushel. And here's a picture of Pick a Bushel. It says that the cucumbers can get anywhere from 3 to 6 inches long. It says that's when it's best to pick them, is what it says. And it was also a regional winner for the All-American, the AAS All-American Selection, I think is what it's called, back in 2013. Semi-bushing variety, and about 50 days to harvest. So new to me this year, but I thought this would be perfect since it's semi-bushing, so it can vine out just a little bit, but not completely take over. And with it being in here with my peppers being below it, I figured the peppers can come up through them and they can vine and drop down. Those are all of the different cucumbers that we are going to start this year. There's one more on here that I didn't mention. My seeds are at least 10 years old. I don't know if they're going to be good or, germinate or not. So I'm not going to show you the seed pack, but it's called Boston Pickling Cucumbers. And I don't think they've germinated in the past seasons that I've planted it. So I'm not calling it out. I am going to put it in a bed. We'll see what happens. But it's good for everything, pickling and for fresh eating. That's this huge stack of cucumbers that we're growing this year. I'm going to go ahead and get these cucumbers planted. I already got my white cucumbers in, but we got to get the rest of them in the ground. When it comes to planting cucumbers, I follow the directions on the seed pack, mostly. Usually your seed pack will tell you how deep to plant them, and most of these are all telling me about a 1/2 inch deep. I'm going to make sure I plant them in all of my containers. I use Happy Frog potting soil in everything, whether I'm talking a GreenStalk, a pot, my raised beds. Happy Frog goes into everything, and I make sure that I have fertilizer in those cells most of the time. So a general fertilizer, and plant your seeds a 1/2 inch deep, and within 7 days, 10 days or so, they'll germinate and they will start producing for you very soon. So y'all, that's it. I just wanted to let you know that we're finally getting all of those cucumbers in for the season. Come back and hang out with me again real soon. We'll be planting something else, and I want to share it with you. Talk to you again later. Bye.